This episode is sponsored by the John Vulcan Academy, the official addiction recovery solution of Tuesdays with Troy.
Prostituting is having sex with men.
Yeah.
Escorting is entertaining. There's two different things. My mom had me removed from the home and chose him over me.
That kind of man is just a predator.
I don't know how I got this far in.
Hi, I'm Lisa Jr. I'm 34 years old. I have 4 children. I was bullied in school because I have a learning disability, dyslexia, as well as severe ADHD. I also have severe PTSD from being molested from the time I was 3 until I was 6 by my babysitter. I was raped when I was 13 years old. I remember going home the next day and just sitting in a bathtub crying because I couldn't understand how everything in my life was so bad. My mom got a boyfriend and he began to be inappropriate with me and hit me one day, and so the cops came and my mom picked him over me and had me removed from the house and had me placed in foster care. I had a baby at 14 years old. I was in 8th grade, for God's sake. I became very violent because nobody would respond to me. I was my own worst nightmare. By the time I was 18, I had 2 children, and I remember my caseworker saying, well, if you can come up with a year's worth of rent for an apartment, I'll let you out, and there's ways that you can do that. And he introduced me to a person, and then this person had owned an escort service. After that, I just felt like I was already too far in to even know how to walk away. I was so focused on not being poor and not having to suffer or have my kids suffer or want for anything that I overcompensated. And it's 16 years later, and I don't know how to get out. I don't know where to start. And I'm so scared. So Troy, I'm reaching out to you for your help. I don't want everything I've been through to be for nothing. Please help me.
Lisa's plea for help had a concerning level of desperation that I felt needed to be addressed immediately. So my team scheduled an appointment for me to meet with her, and as soon as Lisa and I sat down to talk, I wasted no time getting to the point. Your babysitter was molesting you from 3 to 6. And that is an experience you remember firsthand.
Vividly. I think that was his eyes are forever burned into my brain. Like, he had the greenest eyes.
You were raped at 13.
I was raped at 13 at a party. 5 months later, I was pregnant, and I had the baby. My first time having sex wasn't willing. My first time having a child wasn't by choice. All of these happy moments in everybody's normal life were like, I have to take care of a child.
It seems the parade of abusive men just keep marching through Lisa's life.
My mom had a boyfriend, and he hit me. And I had my daughter in my hands, and I called the cops, and they took him to jail. When he got out, my mom basically called DCFS and had me removed from the home and chose him over me.
As soon as she was placed into the foster care system, the man assigned as her caseworker, hearing she needed money, introduced her to the dark and dangerous world of escorting.
He says, well, I know a way that you can make some more money. And then he introduced me to, and had already owned an escort service. And at this time, I'm young and impressionable, and I'm kind of in that somebody save me mode, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't save myself. I couldn't read or write at 18, 17, 16, my whole life.
So you dropped out of school?
They never made me go.
You never went to school?
At 18, when I was in 8th grade and I got pregnant, They wouldn't allow me to go to school.
It has been my experience that people who live in denial are able to stay in a state of denial longer by relabeling the ugly things in their life to make them more palatable. In Lisa's case, I think it's time she stops hiding behind the label of escort. Were you prostituting?
I wasn't prostituting at the time. Why? No. There's two different things. Prostituting is having sex with men.
Yes.
Escorting is entertaining. There's two different things. Every time I go on a call, I'm not sleeping with these men.
But sometimes, right? I mean, that what it is?
Yes, but if I am, it's for a large quantity of money. It's not for...
But isn't that still prostitution? So one of the things that our society does often that is unhealthy is we will relabel something to make it feel more palatable.
That's what I've done.
And my job is to help people see things for the way they are,
Yes.
not for the way they're pretending they are.
Yes.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with the fact that you've softened those stories over the years. That's how, we kick into self-preservation mode, and we do tell ourselves things to get through the day. We do it, right? There's a part of us that wants to be happy, not sad.
Yeah.
So I want us to properly label the activity, but that labeling that activity does not label you as a person. And I want you to understand that.
And I'm really ashamed of it. Because it's like, my children, like I don't want them to know their mom is a prostitute. But it's like, how am I supposed to move on from this?
This next revelation may come as a surprise to some, but Lisa speaks very highly of the many men who have exploited and abused her. Some might diagnose this as Stockholm syndrome. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I do know this is another one of Lisa's false truths that must end now if she's ever going to escape from this life.
I can't be mad at the industry because it's...
Why?
It's...
Why?
Because
Why can't you be mad at the industry?
Well, because I can't be mad because what I am today and everything I've learned today has been from those men. Those men, my experiences.
I hate referring to them as men. You're right. That's
He groomed me.
Yeah, well, that's using the word man for somebody who takes advantage of that situation is another way where we put a label in there that makes it feel better. That's not, in my opinion, that's not a real man. That kind of man is just a predator, right?
But that's all I'd ever known.
Was predators.
Yeah.
Life has been filled with predators.
I raised myself. These people played a key part in me learning what credit was, me learning how to start a business, me doing this, everything that I've done has been self-learned from these people. And so in the end, it's like, do I despise the industry? Yeah. But did it feed me? It did.
So you're saying these men who exploited you,
They did.
they exploited your desperation,
They did.
exploited your body for their own personal satisfaction. As long as they threw a stock tip in your direction or guided your business, you feel like, I don't know.
You get comfortable with your abusers after so long.
Well, do you see them as abusers?
I do.
'Cause you described them just now, and again, not judging.
I know.
You described those men who exploited you as your personal heroes.
Kind of, in a way.
Do you hear that?
I do hear it, and I do know how weird it sounds.
What I'm giving you an opportunity to do is to purge all of that. If you're an emotional hoarder that has held on to all the pain,
I am.
all the lies that others have told you and you have told yourself, today's the day that you get to purge that out and start a nice fresh line and go, that's what I was, that's who I was, this is what I am and who I am. Right? Because the people who struggle the longest in life are the ones who take the longest to turn around and look forward. The people who recover faster are the ones who take their eyes off of the past and begin to build themselves a new future. Suddenly, while we were talking, there was a real breakthrough. It may not seem like much to some, but for Lisa, this moment was a turning point. She caught herself starting to refer to her work again as escorting, but quickly changed it to prostitution. And in that moment, some reality leaked in.
We bought the house, and I was supposed to retire. But then everything happened, and that didn't happen.
So when you say retire, you mean stop?
Stop prostituting.
Good job. How did that feel just now?
Dirty.
Does it make it harder to keep doing it when you have to label it that way?
Every day getting up and going to work is hard for me.
As our conversation progressed, it was quite clear to me that anger was at the foundation of much of this. I wondered if she was starting to realize this as well. And then, this happened.
I used to say, I'm Lisa and I'm an anger addict. Because that was the truth.
Would I be right in saying that your anger may be part of what powers your prostitution?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I'm getting back at every man who ever hurt me. Because every single man in my life that I've trusted has hurt me. Not one that I can think of hasn't tried to be inappropriate with me. So it's hard for me to think that, am I just here to be a whore? You know, I feel like if I never would have been shown the adult industry and had dyslexia and had these issues, that I never would have been forced to continue to think it was okay. It's hard because I don't want to do it. I feel bad every time I do it.
At one point, Lisa began telling me she wants to help rescue girls from human trafficking. And while I love where her heart is, I wondered if she was aware of how ironic that idea was under the circumstances. You can't be prostituting.
I know.
On one day and then helping.
No, not at all. It makes no sense. It's an oxymoron.
So if you are really wanting to dedicate your life to rescuing women and children and girls from human trafficking,
I have to quit.
You have to stop trafficking yourself. Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
You're trafficking yourself.
I am. I'm exploiting myself.
You are a victim of your own human trafficking. I am convinced Lisa absolutely wants out of this dark world she has fallen into. I'm also convinced it's going to take a team of people to help her make the transition successfully. But that is something I think I can make happen. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a support team around you.
That would be amazing.
I'm going to help line up some resources for you for some serious counseling.
Yeah.
Because while I feel like you're seriously good at making people around you believe you've got it all together, I don't think you're well.
I'm not. I can't tell you how many times during the day I'm just crying out of nowhere just because I am just so unhappy with my life.
My mind was spinning through the many people I know and trust, searching all of my personal contacts for just the right life mentor for Lisa. And then it came to me. One of my dearest friends in the world, Mary. She is an extraordinarily successful woman who also had to fight her way through her own life adversities to survive. Different challenges than Lisa, but fight nonetheless. I decided to call Mary on the spot, having no idea if I'd reach her, and if I did, I might be putting her in a really awkward position. But I know she is exactly what Lisa needs right now. Like right this second.
You know, my heart it aches a little bit. But I want to tell you first about that's the first gift that will be yours, and probably already is. And that is the gift of compassion, because when you have walked such a horrific path, you develop that kind of compassion for other people that you can't develop any other way. So tell me, if you had one wish today, what would that wish look like?
To not ever have to prostitute again. Because that's why I reached out to him. Because I've never had a support group of positive people.
You are not alone. Every woman I know has walked the path of fear of not being enough. Every one of us, including me. So you do know the steps, huh?
I do.
Okay. Are you ready to make one of them today?
I am. I am.
Which one?
To take my websites down and everything.
Okay. That's a big step, huh?
It is.
Yeah. I know. I know, honey.
I don't know how I got this far in.
Yeah. I wish you the best, sweetheart. I do.
Thank you, Mary.
I hope we have another
to meet you soon.
opportunity for our paths to cross so I can hear about what's going on in your life. I do.
Well, I welcome that opportunity. Thank you so much.
Lisa and Mary are on their way to becoming fast friends, and true to her word, Lisa has canceled her escort ads and taken down her website. As for the income she needed to replace quickly, Lisa has started a business. And it's really cool. Well, I personally felt like that was really inspiring. I'm really proud of Lisa for the courage that she displayed in being so open and candid with me. And I hope that her friends and family in the community where she lives do not judge her for the things that she shared and where she's been, but will instead celebrate where she's going. I've wrapped her in a team of people that I believe can help her reach her true potential, but she still has to be the one to do the work. And I'm confident if she chooses to, she absolutely can. This work wouldn't even be possible without our good friends over at the John Vulcan Academy, the official addiction recovery program of Tuesdays with Troy. And a personal debt of gratitude to my dear friend and mentor, Dr. Phil. Thank you for supporting my life's work. I appreciate you very much. If there's something you think me or my team can do to help you or your family, tell me about it. Ask me. Reach out to us at troythelocator.com or direct message me on Facebook or Instagram. Until then, I'll see you next Tuesday.